And what do you know? It worked. Hey y'all, this is Benny with a different kind of update. No more Dixie. They went and changed their name. They got woke. They thought Dixie was what? Something wrong with the name Dixie? I didn't think so. Nobody else thought so. But apparently, Miss Benson thought it was. And the committee, which she was part of, thought it was. So Dixie's out. All right, what I'm doing here, working on the life-size truck. Now, the last time I showed you a fix on that steering, the frame by the steering box. It was a pretty chicken shit fix because it just cracked all again. So what I'm doing now, oh, by the way, the fix that Dodge had came out in the early 80s. I'm not sure when. It was even more chicken shit, as they took a plate, bolted it to the steering box on the inside of the frame, had this bar going to the radiator support that you bolted onto the radiator support. It didn't do anything. Really what it did was the damn weld broke. So after a lot of time, after a lot of time thinking about how to fix this truck, because I miss my truck. I love my truck. June. Not as much as you though. I came up with a fix. And it seems ideal to me to connect one frame where the steering box is and a design flaw to the other frame. That'll keep this end from twisting. Why they didn't just do that the first time? Penny pinchers, bean counters, cost too much. So after watching a few years of Cold War motors and how those guys go about fixing stuff is pretty much the same way I do it. Whatever you have around the house or whatever you can get your hands on, fix it. So I've never made a pattern before, but I made a pattern. And this is June. This is the way it's gonna work. All right, I'll make a cross member, and it's gonna look like that. The reason it's separated in the middle is because it would be a real pain in the ass to try to get this thing in like this, because the plate that came with the fix is pretty stout. The plate's good. The rest of it ain't worth a damn. So I'm gonna butt weld this to the plate, put some gussets on it so it doesn't want to crack. And on the other side, it doesn't have a plate, but I'm gonna get a plate, get some plate steel, do the same thing on this side, butt weld it, and then gusset all four ends and bolt it. There's already some holes in the frame. One of them holes on the idler arm. Yeah, it's got a bar that the idler arm attaches to. So I could use one of those bolts on the plate, and it's got two more bolts in it that I could use, and that should tighten it up pretty good. Now what I'm gonna do in the middle, I've already talked to some welders. That's where I got my steel from. There's a welding shop called Lloyd's up in Barker's Corner, and I told him what I wanted, and he just grabbed scraps and said this would work. Yeah, so I had a pretty good idea at first. I was going to use 1x2 tubing, but he had this thick wall 1-inch tubing, and that should be plenty good enough. We'll put them together just like that, and there's going to be a bit of a space in the middle. I know it looks a little crooked right now, but that's just the way it looks. The metal parts are straight. Oh, now how this is going to work. Let's see, I should have cleaned this off. There we go. All right, I've got a bar that's going to fit tightly in the middle. And yeah, that's really dirty. Wow. It's also got a welded seam, and it's not unwelded tubing. It's square tubing, but it's welded. All right, so you get the idea. This is going to go into here, and they're going to meet. You know, I'm not going to keep this length. And they're going to meet somewhere in the middle. I'm going to drill some holes right through here and put 4 grade 8 bolts in it. And that I think will be easy to put it in, put the insert in it, slide it up enough to where they almost meet, slide the insert out. Now that's going to be a trick. And then drill a hole and put some bolts in. So, won't be long before I have Sabrina back on the road, and that will brighten my day every morning. Every morning I start her up, and every day after work I can drive my truck again. So yeah, that's going to be pretty darn sweet. I had to bring it down because, yeah, I made that a little bit longer. I had to bring it down because the bottom of the front of the motor, well, you know, the crankshaft, the balancer and everything, the oil pan is right in that, and the fan is right in that plane between the frames. So I had to drop it down a little bit to clear that stuff, and that's going to work out grand. All I got to do is clean up my cuts, and Sabrina will be back on the road with a cross member. I should patent it. Maybe I'll get rich. Fix your old Dodge with this design flaw steering box, because if you have power steering on a 70s and 80s era Dodge Juniper, you got a cracked frame. If you drive that truck any amount, I know my truck has over, the truck itself has over 300,000 miles on it. Not the engine. The engine's got all close to 130,000 on it, but the truck itself has over 300,000 miles on it. So we got to take care of the old girls. Only thing I can't find is a damn fuel tank. Because Dodge put that plastic fuel tank on it, and nobody anywhere that I've found sells new plastic fuel tanks for those trucks. Not a 20-gallon anyway. In junkyards, I don't know why the hell they do this, but junkyards punch a hole in every gas tank that comes in. So they can't sell you a gas tank. Some damn lawyer ease or something stupid like that. They can sue them if your car or truck blows up. Nope, it's at your own risk that you get this gas tank and put it in. So for anything else with a steel tank, you can pretty much get a new one, but nobody makes a Dodge fuel tank. And they all crack. They all crack at the top. If I fill her up, gas will come out until it gets below that crack. What you doing, Junie? So, let's say we've got no modeling update. I did put some decals on the shuttle, and it turned out all right. I'll still have to decal the other side. Man, they got a lot of decals on there. So I got to decal the other side, and I don't know, I just couldn't. I could picture the base I want. I could picture how I want it to look, but to actually get it together is why I didn't fix it February, because I want to get that right. That's one display that to me has to be perfect. Is a Columbia and a Challenger as well. What you doing, Judy? So, this is better. Cursing, drinking beer, definitely not for children. Even though if they watch the Grammys, they're already damaged. The Grammys. Who watches that stupid stuff? Alright, so I'm going to clean these angles up, and that way they butt together a little easier. And when I'll actually put it on a truck, I'll do it with you, and we'll see what happens. So I gotta change my wheel so I can clean those up. And I got some extra left over. Nice. So this is Benny. Yeah, an update asked for, actually by Charlie Mack. He said, when are you gonna do an update? I say, okay. I'll do an update. It's not gonna be what you think. Leonard. Now Leonard's sitting over there. So this is Benny, and we'll see you. Appreciate you watching.